this morning you talked about wanting the guys to simplify, stop chasing. Did you feel like they did a better job of that tonight?
I do. I thought we did a way better job just taking care of the puck. And I thought we defended hard. We had numbers back. It wasn't perfect by any stretch, but I thought our intentions were in the right place. And as a result, I thought it was a much lower event game. We weren't trading chance for chance or opening the game up and giving a ridiculous amount of high quality looks. So you play the game the right way. You can create your offense through your defense. I thought we did a good job getting inside in the offensive zone, just getting to the blue paint. 2 of the goals, Eddie's goal and Laugh's goal, just getting to the blue paint. That's where the majority of the goals are scored in this league. It's no secret. So I thought we did a better job on the offensive side, just trying to get inside a little bit more.
You mentioned Edstrom's goal, but Gavrikov makes a pretty nice pass on that play. Is he kind of showing that he has that in his game? I know it's not like a staple of his game, but he can do that when needed.
Yeah, I think obviously when we think of Vladdy, we always, talk about his defensive prowess. He's heavy at the net front. He leans on people. He's hard to play against. He's a real good defender, and that's whenever we discuss him, we always talk about that. But I think his ability to make some plays off the offensive blue line are, they're sneaky good. He's been involved in a fair amount of goals over the last little while here, just by making pretty good decisions along that offensive blue line, when to jump through, when we're trying to create some motion and some movement in the top half of the offensive zone. He's pretty good at it. And he's also pretty good at just getting pucks through when, getting it through the first set of shin pads or the layers of shot blockers, which is, I think, a really important skill for a defenseman in today's game.
With the motion and movement that you're saying on that third goal specifically, was there a conscious effort for the D to be a little bit more active on the blue line in the offensive zone? Because when Carrick rolled up, Gavrikov didn't even hesitate. Just right there.
Yeah, well, it's something that we practice a fair amount, and depending on what the coverages are, the types of coverages that we play against, we talk to them about what their options might be and what may work against different coverages. And I thought those guys just did a really good job. It's hard in today's game, I think, to create offense in the absence of 5-man participation, whether it be off the rush, just getting a 4th man in the attack, sometimes a 5th one, and then in the offensive zone. It's hard to create consistent offense if you don't get your defensemen involved. And so, we're trying to do it in a calculated manner so we don't turn into a high-risk group. But I think it's essential that we get them involved, and we have strategies and tactics on how to do it, and we practice it, weekly.
Mike, it seemed like tonight your team had patience in it too. Like you said, you weren't going for that chance that wasn't. That seems like it could be a repeatable thing, just to play with that type of patience.
I think so. We use the phrase with the guys all the time, chasing offense. When you chase offense, sometimes it turns into a high-risk, reckless game, and it's hard to win that way. And, we talk to them a lot about just taking what the game gives them. When there's opportunities to make plays, we certainly don't want to take the stick out of their hands. We want them to act on their instincts and trust their instincts. But there's also an element of discipline in, taking care of the puck in the critical areas of the rink. And, I think it's an important aspect of being hard to play against. Sometimes you see NFL quarterbacks throw the ball in the stands. There's a reason for it. And I think the same thing as far as managing the puck in the critical areas of the rink. If we're making high risk plays in the wrong areas of the rink, that's when I think, you can feed an opponent's transition game. And I thought the last week or so, whether it was conscious or subconscious, and I understand to a certain extent because there's been a whole lot of noise around the fact that we haven't scored as many goals as expected. But I think we had a tendency to do that, and I don't think it helped us. Number one, we didn't get any more offense out of it, and we certainly gave up a whole lot more, and that's the conversation that we had with the guys the last couple of days.
Okay. With the last one, with Brett Berard, it seemed like he had limited minutes in the second period. Just wondering if that was like a specific decision or if that was just like
It was more just matchups and the flow of the game when the commercial breaks came, and a lot of it had to do with matchups, and we were looking for certain things, and So it wasn't anything that he did or didn't do. You know, I actually thought he played well. I would have liked him be a little more responsible with his stick there in the third. That would have, you know, in those areas, that's an important element of the game. But I really liked his energy. I thought, you know, he brought some speed. You know, he had a couple of good looks at the net. He can shoot the puck. You know, he's a good kid. He plays hard. You know, we anticipated that he would bring some juice, and he did. So I thought his line, all three of those guys are quick. They can skate, so they get after pucks and they hunt pucks really well. And I thought they had some real good momentum shifts for us.